Hello, everyone. Welcome to In This Space, the podcast that will tell you what to do when you're not so sure of what to do. We have all been there, right? So each episode, we will highlight ways how you can earn money. We will also talk about places that you can travel to and ways how you can live a transformative, thriving life. So I'm your Triple T coach in travel, transformation, and thriving. My name is Sasha-gaye McTaggart-Francis, and I am the host of In This Space.
Teaching is a wonderful profession. Apart from those intrinsic motivations and stuff, it allows you to travel. It allows you, it's like a window to the world. If you want to teach in Vietnam or you want to teach in China these days, the world, it's a global village. You can just be recruited like that to teach all over the world. So, and you get to experience new cultures, new foods, see how other people live, understand where people are coming from. It allows you to be understanding and not be judgmental, and it allows you to bring so much more to the classroom. I mean, teaching has allowed me to travel to different places, and I take my kids with me, so they are learning the world as we go along.
Yes, because so far you started in Jamaica. You're now in Cayman Islands teaching.
Yes,
Any
and I've
other
taught
places?
in the UK. I've taught in the UK, and when you're in the UK, you can easily travel through to France or wherever.
You have tuned in to the right place in this space podcast. This episode is gonna be a little different. I will be sharing with you some announcements, and then we will have our interview. You will get to hear and witness and see what is in store on In This Space podcast on this Saturday. But first, let me tell you that this journey, this podcast, it has been an amazing experience from I've started. And yes, we are now at the end of season 1. Yes. So I know that from the tone you could say this sounds like Sasha is saying goodbye. Well, I'm not saying goodbye. I'm saying see you later. I'm saying see you later. This will be the last episode of season 1. And the guest that we have interviewed for our closing show is a interview that you definitely don't want to miss. So remember to stick and stay. As I always say, the interview will be right after these announcements. But let me get right into the announcements. So season 1 was amazing. We started off by telling you the importance of earning in your purpose. We had Dr. Vicky Otaruyina joining us on set, my purpose coach. She did an exceptional job, episode 2 of season 1. Then we were joined by Miss Trishana Davis, accountant and travel business owner, my director in the travel business. Then we were joined by Miss Anisha Rose, Wealthy Annie, the business coach. You can contact her if it is that you are interested in business coaching, mentoring, and to grow and start the Forex business. We had the pleasure of speaking with Mr. Marvin Bloomfield. He too is an educator and culinary artist, and his interview was also an amazing one. We were then joined by Miss Roxanne Gordon, another educator, but she specializes in reading and literacy, and Mikhail Williams, the man in sales. I'm sure that you had enjoyed his interview where he was telling you the different ways ways how you can earn in shipping as well as in sales. And you will hear from the guests to come in short order soon and very soon. But I want to take this opportunity to tell all of my previous guests thank you. Thank you for joining me on this journey in season 1. And for season 2, I'm gonna ask you, if it is that you have a business, if it is that you are a part of a corporation and you believe that you promote a balanced life, because listen, on this show we are not promoting burnout or being stressed on the job. It's all about ways to thrive. So whether you are an entrepreneur or you're a part of a corporation, you want to be featured on the show. This is a show that helps people to earn. If it is that they want a job, if it is that they want to start a business, they come to this show. This is what this show is all about. So please share your story. Please share with people what it is that you do. Let season 2 be even better than season 1. So please send an email to theTTTcoach@gmail.com, or you can WhatsApp me at 876-844-2624. Let me know that you want to be on the show, and we will have your story shared. All right. We will come to you, or you can have it online. So we can talk details, we can talk arrangements. And on our show, we talk about traveling as well. So if you are a hotelier, if it is that you are an airline, you're a part of an airline company, whatever it is, travel related, yes, we can interview you as well. We can feature you. So just reach out. And if you know someone, tell them and let them reach out to us at In This Space Podcast. Now, on that note, I would like to introduce to you something new that we are doing at SGMF Travel Services. So we are going to have a VIP WhatsApp group, and it's gonna be called SGMF Team of Travelers. This is a WhatsApp group for my VIP travelers. So I want you to be a part of this group, and I want you to join the group now. Join the group now. You hear what I'm saying to you guys? Join the group now, because now the group is free. But this group won't be free every day, all the time. Because when it is that you are a part of this group, you get the first-hand knowledge of all our upcoming trips. And yes, you get the discounted prices. Yes, you get the better rates. You have it before it is published on my social media platforms. So that group will be telling you about all SGMF Travel Services will be doing. You see that we have started doing our trips. We had our trip to Peru. We're gonna go on our trip to Panama, and we have an upcoming trip in November. This is just the beginning. So I want for you guys, my VIP people, to have that access first so that you can do your proper planning. So I introduce you to SGMF Team of Travelers. I will send you the link to join this special WhatsApp group. And what are the requirements to join the group? Because yes, it's not open to everyone. You must have booked a trip with SGMF Travel Services in the past. Once you have booked a trip with me before, you have access to this group. Or if it is that you have referred a client that has booked with us, then you have access to the group. So definitely you have to tell me who that client is and when they traveled. for you to have access to this group. If you are a fellow travel business partner on my team of travel agents, because not only do I book trips, I do also coach a group of travel agents that are on my team. And so, if it is that you are one of my business partners or you're gonna be a business partner, once you are on board, you have access to this WhatsApp group. And what will be shared in the group, as I stated before, upcoming group trips, travel destination highlights, and you will get that VIP access and discount for the upcoming events. Now, SGMF Travel Services and SGMF Train and Coach will host at least 3 events. At least. There might be more, but at least 3 events we'll be having on a yearly basis. And members of this WhatsApp group, which is called SGMF Team of Travelers, they will get the VIP and early access to these events. And no need to worry, guys. No need to worry. This group will not be filled with forwarded messages, or people won't be overwhelming the group with abundant information or forwarding messages, because the group will only have access to admins. Admins alone can post in the group. Yes, from time to time we will open the group for you to give your feedback, but I can guarantee you will not be overwhelmed with forwarding messages, because we do know how the group thing stays sometimes. I am in a few WhatsApp groups and it is overwhelming at times. So I do understand. Remember, we have our upcoming couples retreat in November. If it is that you have not signed up, please don't hesitate. Sign up for couples retreat in November 2026 at the Couples Tower Isle Resort. Reach out to me, send an email to sgmftravels@gmail.com, or even if you send it to the triple T coach@gmail.com, I will see it as well, or the WhatsApp, I will see it. But come to Couples Retreat 2026. You do not want to miss this transformative event. So if you are married, come. If you're engaged, come. Even if you're not married and you say, I want to experience Couples Resort, come and experience Couples Resort. It's a wonderful property, beautiful property. I have been there twice. Couples Resort is one of the best resorts in Jamaica. I say that without apology. So this is a resort that you want to go. So ensure that you are on this trip. We are building a community, guys. It's a community of people who love to travel, who wants to live a transformative, thriving life. That is what this show is all about. That is what In This Space podcast is all about. And so come, join us on this journey, and ensure that you stay tuned to our YouTube page, because from time to time before season 2 comes on, I will come on and give you a little video on the roam. If it is that I'm traveling somewhere and I want you guys to hear about this location, I will put a short video on the page, so don't forget about the page. The page will still be there. We will share quotes as well as to how it is that you can live that transformative life. It's just that the interviews with our guests, we will leave that for season 2, and we are not so sure of the date when we will launch season 2, but ensure that you stick and stay on In This Space podcast, where we will announce when it is that season 2 will come in appearance. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for sharing this journey with me. And I am looking forward to seeing you again on In This Space podcast on Saturdays. Hi, everyone. So, we are here on another episode of In This Space podcast. the podcast that tells you what to do when you are not so sure of what to do, the podcast that tells you ways how you can earn, places that you can go, and ways how you can live a transformative, thriving life. And today I have the pleasure of speaking with Dean Elizabeth Richmond. As I started this podcast, she reached out to me saying that she loved the show and she would love to be a guest on the show. I was so honored, so privileged to have this amazing woman want to partner with me at In This Space podcast. She is quite accomplished, but her main thing is that she is a teacher. She's an educator. So it's not only teaching because Dean educates in various disciplines across various borders because she's not only a teacher or an educator in one country but in multiple countries, and with social media and the internet, her platform has taken the world. It's worldwide. She's also an author, she's a wife, and her passion is in special education. She has various books and disciplines concerning special education. She will definitely tell you more about herself, but I just wanted to tell you that about her. And also, what I found interesting is that she's a part of the cadet. This is the first adult that I am meeting that is a part of the cadet, so that's quite interesting. She is a Jamaican. However, right now she is joining us from the Cayman Islands. And she's supposed to come back soon to JA. Looking forward for that visit. So, Dean, welcome to In This Space podcast. How are you today?
Thank you so much, Sasha-gaye, for having me. I am doing quite well. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know I just touched this surface, just the surface I touched, but you can tell the audience if I missed out anything, you can tell them about yourself.
I like to say that I am a child of God. I identify as a Christian. And so everything I do, I try to do from a faith based perspective. I'm a teacher, as you said before. I've been teaching for maybe over 26 years. Yes.
Wow.
As a trained teacher since 2001, from about maybe 1996, I was teaching as a pre-trained teacher, and it has been a wonderful journey, very interesting. I also identify as an artist, what you call innate or gifted. So I can do portraits, maybe a similar likeness like you. My main media is oil on canvas. Gives me more time to play with it. And I'm a writer, and it's something. So those two go hand in hand. From primary school, I've been writing and drawing, and those two things I'm known for.
And can we find any of your work anywhere in terms of your artwork, that is?
Because I didn't follow that side as a career. A lot of my work I've given away, and I've met other artists who are like who are, you'd say, my mentors, and they always say to me, don't give away your work, save it for really serious art collectors want to see from it started. But I tend to give away my work. Sometimes people will order like a portrait. A lot of the times when people commission a piece of work, they want their portrait done. So usually that's the paid side. Other than that, I use it in my own work. Like
In your books?
Yes, creating, whether it's a cover art, or a lot of my students have special needs because I'm a literacy teacher. So a lot of the students I get at the secondary who have gaps in literacy, it tends to overlap with special needs as well. So I tend to use art a lot just to get them regulated and the creative side going. Art tends to be non-judgmental, tend to be fun. And it's another avenue for me to reach my students.
But I must commend you though for being a special education teacher because it is an area that we do need a lot of personnel, and some persons shy away from it. But these children, these adults as well, they too need attention. And I must commend you for all your service
Thank
and
you.
all your work. Really is
Thank
commendable.
you.
You are welcome. And in regards to your books, you can just use this opportunity to tell us the names of those books because you said your art is in those books as well. So what are the books that you have?
Maybe around 2008, I started publishing a group of us as teachers. It was three of us, myself and Dr. Jacqueline Mitchell and Mrs. Sophia Brown Sinclair. We had decided
Yes.
to write a series of social studies workbooks. At the time, we were teaching at a junior high school, and we felt that the gaps were so wide in the classroom, we needed a tool that could help with the differentiation so the advanced students could still go ahead, or and many parents wanted something at home so they could do that extra work, and the others can work at their own pace. But I found that the traditional high schools saw value in the books, and they were buying the books much more than the target group we had in mind. So
Yes.
the books were basically selling themselves because we ensured that the quality was very good in our debut.
What's the
So
name of
those
the book?
Oh, it was a secondary social studies workbook. I used to also write grade 4 literacy lessons in the Gleaner Children's Own newspaper. So I did those.
Yes, yes, the
Yes, I
younger
used to do
folk.
those.
I wonder if it's still around.
Yeah, I need to check on that. I used to do that. But now, after a decade, I decided to go back to writing because it's a passion I have. Because a lot of the writing I've done since, it's just for the educational institutions where I've worked. So this time I've decided to write something that's close to my heart. You could say it's more a narrative and strategy guide. Strategies for churches, for business communities, and for schools, and for parents on
Mhm.
how to create this sense of belonging for children who learn differently. So it's called Faith Beyond the Labels: From Awareness to Belonging, Building Inclusive Communities Together. And I'm very excited about that project, and my editors and publisher is very excited about it as well.
I
And
am
with this
excited
text,
as well.
because I have lived experience coming from a family that is also neurodiverse,
Mhm.
from my experience as a teacher, and I'm also a doctoral candidate at the moment in special education. So I have a lot of experience coming into this text as
Yes.
well. And it's coming soon. And the other texts that I have, they're already written. It's just, it's a process. Writing is a process because, you have to go through the
Definitely.
editing and
Yes.
um, thinking about marketing and so on. So I
Yes.
do have Praying Through Autism, a 30-day prayer devotional for mothers. And I do have Crown and Character, Embracing Beauty. Now, this one I'm especially excited about because it's speaking to young girls, ladies, different stages, and it's really talking about taking care of the body. Because a part of my background as well, I'm trained in aesthetic, but I ended up doing the exam for facial technician
Mhm.
with Sudesco, which is a Swiss certification. I'm also certified as a salon owner. Haven't gone there yet. That's something I might think about for retirement, but because to me it's art,
It
makeup
is.
and
It is.
skincare. Yes. So so this book combines my experience with aesthetics as well as from a biblical
So
perspective.
break down esthetician though for those of the persons who might not know what an esthetician does.
Right. I'm talking about the beauty side of it. So we're looking at skincare,
Mhm.
right? Taking care of the skin, and you also have to understand the products and the ingredients that are in the products so that you know what is good to put onto the skin, right?
Okay.
So you do a little bit of science and a little bit of anatomy and all of that.
Definitely a woman with many hats. Definitely. And any other books? So you mentioned three. So,
Right. And there's Daughter Arise, Get Ready to Walk from Victim to Victory. So it's coming soon. They've been written, but just those finishing touches. And I'm really excited to have these debuted quite soon.
awesome. Awesome, Dean. Thank you so much for your work and thank you for your publications and what is to come. It is definitely needed. Definitely needed.
Yes.
Um, how and why did you get started in teaching? So I know that it's your main career. And before we reach there, we forgot to tell the audience something else that you do. You're also a podcaster. So you forgot as well. So you are a
No, podcasting is something I started recently, as I've been thinking about the whole field of neurodiversity, because
mm-hmm.
I have a son who is now 5 and he has been diagnosed with autism. As I said, my family is neurodiverse. So some of us diagnosed as adults, but it's the spectrum is wide. So it's not
Yeah.
like it's something you can look and see. And it is so misunderstood. And if you look at it from a strength-based perspective, you see that we all have strengths. Instead of dwelling on whatever gaps we think we have or disabilities, we think about the strength we have, and
Yes.
we can do so much with that. So I had this podcast just to create awareness, just to hear voices from experts in the field, from parents in the field, to see what they have overcome and to give hope to others out there who are parenting children with special needs.
Okay.
Because my mission in all of this is to glorify God using my voice, my creativity, and compassion to educate, to empower, and to uplift lives right across the globe. Whoever
Yeah.
will listen in, especially women and those who are navigating, as I said, neurodiversity and inclusion or even adversity,
Mm-hmm.
through faith-driven teaching, storytelling, empowerment tools that promote healing, purpose, and resilience.
Yes. Often we look over those things. We look over healing, but it is
Yeah.
definitely needed, and we have to spend some time to heal. We have some to spend some time to be informed. And so
Yes.
I would definitely recommend persons to tune in to your podcast. What's the name of the podcast?
Faith Beyond the Labels with Liz. It's shown through Flashpoint Media, which is a whole media house. They have a radio station. There's a mission segment. It's really good.
All right, thank you for sharing. So we're going to go into know how and why did you get started in teaching?
I remember as far back as when I was in grade 9 at Manchester High School, when that's when they start to have you think about your careers. And we had to write down 3 things. So the 3 things I wrote down, I remember one was to be a nurse, number 2 was to be a teacher, and number 3 was to be a soldier because I was a cadet then. And you're thinking about soldier, the army. But then by the time I got to sixth form, um, I started doing art because all along I was staying away from art, thinking that artists looked a bit eccentric to me at the time. And I was saying, no, I don't want to be crazy or something like that. But then it got caught up to me because when I went to sixth form, I remember passing the art room and then the art teacher was in there with some kids after school. And I decided to stop and look what they were doing. And then I started drawing, and everybody was creating excitement over the drawings. And then I just started doing it. And then I ended up doing the subject. I didn't even do O level art. I just asked him, can I do A level art? Do I have to do O levels first? And he said he didn't see anything in the rules that said I had to do O levels first. So I actually did it at A levels and did art for the first time then. And
Mhm.
I guess I saw the art teacher as my mentor because he got me to my first job at the library. I was doing some artwork there and doing, little summer teaching. And I
The
think I met
library
another
in
artist.
Manchester?
Yes, Manchester Parish Library. Yes.
Okay.
And then I met an art teacher there. They were doing some exhibitions, and he told me there was an opening at Cross Keys Secondary, and I ended up doing pre-trained teaching as an art teacher then. And then after a year, I decided to go into college and formally train. Um, I know my art teacher wanted me to go to Edna Manley, but at the time, I don't think I could afford the boarding. So
Oh,
I opted to go to Church Teachers College, which was in the town where I live. They didn't offer art. So I ended up doing English, which was another strength of mine anyway. So that's how I ended up teaching English and social studies because those were my options. And
yes.
ever since, it just has been great.
Well, I am happy to hear that it has been great. Not every teacher speaks like Dean. I'm sure you heard the stories. Um,
Yes,
not every teacher is as happy
yes,
as
teaching
you
is
are.
hard. It is hard. I like it, but it's hard. The parts that are hard is the whole administrative workload that comes with it. It's a dynamic field. Things are always changing. As education change and policies change, then we absorb a lot of those changes. So you
Yes.
find that no, we can hardly sleep in our beds between marking and even now with the SBAs, um, we're required to, well, where I am, I'm required to upload them on the system, and that's a whole nother story. So it's hard in terms of that. It can really take time from your family if you're not careful.
Mm-hmm.
It's really because it's the workload is a lot.
But if it is that you love to help people, if it is that you love to pour into persons, give them knowledge, then you will love it. The previous teachers that I've spoken to on this podcast, all of them were saying that you have to have a passion for teaching.
Yes.
If you don't have the passion, you cannot do it. And you can use that principle for everything that you do in life. If it is that you don't have the passion for it, you won't continue to do it, and it will end up you being burnt out. You will end up not allocating enough time to your family, as you said, because everything in life requires a balance. Even though we have our passions, we have to indeed balance our personal
Yes.
life with our passions, because mental illness is real. Stresses of life, stroke, heart attack, all of those things, it is a reality that a lot of us are facing, and we have to be careful. So even though this podcast is telling you about multiple streams of income, we're all about living that thriving life. We're also all about living a healing life. I mean, spend time with your family, spend time with
Yes.
God. I mean, and spend time on your passions. It's very, very important. This is coming from someone that has had a panic attack before. Not a lot of persons knew that, but I did have a panic attack at my previous workplace. I once told persons as well that the only thing left for stress to do to me is to kill me. And so once it is that I see my stress level reaching, like passing the bar that I know I can manage, I just stop immediately, because I mean, stress has caused me to have breakouts on my face when I was going to university. It has caused my hair to come out, pick out, as Jamaican people say. It has caused me to shake. When it was happening to me, I didn't know what it was. I just knew that
Wow.
I had challenges to breathe.
Yes.
Because, in all honesty, the kill alone, it left it kill me. Stress, it do everything
Yeah,
else
we
to me.
really, as women, we tend to take on a lot, and
Hmm.
sometimes out of I don't know if it's fear of the unknown, we tend to stick to what might not be good for us. As you
Yeah,
mentioned, the balance, I think it is so important because sometimes I have to remind myself for that balance. I
yeah.
remember, I remember when I used to work as a reading coach and I used to go to different schools when I was in Jamaica. Um, and I remember meeting a teacher who was really, really disgruntled. And I realized that she was just feeling stuck in the job. And it's not that she didn't set out with a passion before, because having the conversation, you realize she really had that passion, but I guess burnt out. And I
Yes.
remember suggesting that when you're feeling stuck, you can do something else. You can pivot, maybe go on secondment, which is an option you have in civil service there. You can go to another school, go to another place in the ministry and
Yes.
try different experiences. Because I've done that. I've pivoted when I found that this isn't working for me, or I don't lose my passion for teaching. I just find a new environment, a new experience
And
elsewhere, like I said.
a new avenue.
Yes.
So, you had the workbooks, right? And then you use the art in your own books and publications. You were
Right.
here in Jamaica teaching, and you have taught at primary level, secondary level, and tertiary level.
Right. So I keep moving. Yes,
Right.
I stay at a place, but if I'm feeling like I'm stuck, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
a tree, I'm going to move. and,
Exactly.
and
And I
teaching
think,
is
as you said, that is the issue. We are afraid, some of us. I no longer am afraid. Well, I was never afraid to
good.
move. Never afraid. But some persons, they have a fear of moving. They have a fear of change. They want to stay to the known. But let me tell you, there is no such thing as known. um, Everything is unpredictable.
Yeah.
Every single thing is unpredictable. Even while both myself and Dean is speaking now, God forbid, earthquake can happen, hurricane can happen, typhoon, or the world just end. There is nothing that is set in stone or nothing that is stable. So sometimes even persons stay in their job because they said, "Oh, I am in a stable job." And for all of us who went through COVID, you know that there is no such thing as a stable job. And so you have to know how to pivot. You have to be flexible.
Sometimes when we're talented, we can be all over the place, like an
Yes.
octopus on roller skates. So sometimes we have to have that structure. And if we don't have it, we partner with someone who can help us with that structure.
Yes. So for persons who are like you, who has many hats and different talents, an accountability partner is needed.
Yes, it's needed. Yes.
Yes. So that is where coaches come into play. So I know not
Yes.
a lot of persons, especially in Jamaica, know about coaching, but I am a triple T coach. I am a coach in travel, transformation, and thriving. Or associate who made us know each other. Dr. Vicky Otaruina, she's the person that we both have in common. We were both on several programs with Dr. Vicky. Dr. Vicky is a coach. Anisha Rose, who we have interviewed before, she's also a coach. And we have many other coaches out there. It's just for you to reach out to them. It's just for you to
Yes.
contact them. A lot of times people struggle, Dean, but the help is there. You see, the
Yes.
help is there, but you refuse to get the help. But
I,
have a
I believe,
conversation. Have
yeah.
a conversation with them. Have a conversation with us, I should say. You'll never
Yes.
know. And we are here for you to be your best self. So even I myself, I have my hand in a lot of things. I wear many hats as well. But I do have my accountability partners. Even us coaches, we coach ourselves. Um, from time to time, I still reach out to Dr. Vicky, and I'm sure Dean does the same. I reach out to Anisha. My husband is also one of my accountability partners. He keeps me grounded. I keep him grounded. But yes, you definitely need someone. We can't do
That
it
is true,
alone.
because my husband is a stable one. Whilst because my mind is so creative and all over the place, I definitely grateful I have someone who
Yes.
can keep me grounded.
Definitely, definitely. But our conversation has gone all over the place, see, Dean? But I think you did answer why it is how you got started. I think that was complete how it is that you got started in
Yes,
teaching.
and end up still.
So we can move on to the next question, which is what are the different ways someone can earn revenue from what it is that you do? But from the beginning of the podcast, we have been talking. So, as an educator, you are also a writer. You use it. So, you have that as a stream of income where you have your books available to be sold. You have them on Amazon as well. Well, I know two hasn't come out as yet, but
Right. So they will be on Amazon soon, and I'm
right.
hoping to also have them in published locally because,
And when you say
we're
locally, you mean Cayman Islands or Jamaica?
what Jamaica.
Yes. So yes, you can have your books in the bookstores, in the pharmacies, on Amazon. You have your workbooks as well, which you can sell to your students. That's what you did at the primary level when you started. You said you are an artist, but you said most of the time you give away your work, but you'd have sold portraits, right?
Right. On
Mm,
request.
right. Oh, yes. And I read that you do cake decorating.
Well, I do that as a hobby.
Oh, so you
Again,
don't
because of
charge.
the arts, the arts part of it. But because I'm a busy teacher, all these things that I love are so time consuming. So I don't get to dedicate as much time to them. I have to really focus.
Yes, you have to focus on one at a time. And
Right.
being in special education, it does take a lot of time because you have to be patient. It requires a lot of patience.
And being a
So,
parent as well. But the
yes.
thing is, at least I can help them to nurture the talents that I see in them. And I mean, as teachers, you can always, there's so many skills that you have that you can monetize outside of just the teaching. You can even start your own school. I mean, people who are doing Montessori, who are Montessori trained, they make tons of money doing homeschooling. I
Mhm.
mean, that's something they can think about.
And
And,
that's both physical and virtual. Just want to put that out.
right,
Hmm.
right. Teaching English as a second language, that's another area as well. Because I'm always thinking, as I said, from a faith-based perspective, I'm always thinking of Moses in the Bible when he had that encounter with God. Um, during
The
the
burning bush.
wilderness or, yeah, the burning bush. And the Lord asked him, "What is it you have in your hand?" And he had a rod. And the Lord made him use that rod to do so many things. Part the
Mm,
Red Sea. I
yes.
mean, it's the same thing if you think about the widow in the Bible again, who didn't have anything when the prophet came by. She said she was just going to have her last meal for her and her son, and that's it. And the prophet asked, "What do you have in the house?" And she just had oil. And the prophet used that oil when he prayed. That's oil. When he said, "Go and get all the vessels," and she poured oil in them, and the oil didn't stop flowing until the last vessel was full. Each time the Lord uses someone in the Bible, it's usually what they already have. So if we think about what we already have, we can actually steward what we already have, and we can make sure that we have much return on whatever we've in time and training we've invested in whatever we already have. Because it's just like the 10 talents again. When Jesus told that parable, one person got one. Maybe that's what he could manage. Some got five, one person got 10. And it was their duty to steward those talents and to maximize it. And the person who had one, maybe he thought it was nothing, he went and buried it and see how he was punished for it. So it just tells us whatever we have, whether it is a child that we think is difficult or whether it is something we can do, it's we just have to look at it as a gift, see how we can train ourselves, find out more, find a mentor in the area and work it. We have it already deposited inside us. And Jesus also said
Ask and it shall be given. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door must be opened. So these are Bible promises that I've lived by, and I encourage other people to live by it. And that's how you're going to make good streams of income. You ask the Lord for wisdom, because he says, ask me for wisdom, right? And he gives that freely. And whatever you plan, whatever your plans are, whatever you do, the Bible also says that we must present our plans to the Lord and it shall be established. So we shall succeed if whatever we've planned, we've given it to him. Proverbs 16 verse 3, right? So have your vision, write it down, because there's some magic in writing things down. Let me not use the word magic. There is something that happens when you write things down. Power. Because when you write it, your brain starts working now, because it has landed somewhere. And Habakkuk 2 verse 2 says, write the vision and make it plain.
Amen. I love your response, Dean. Love it, love it, love it. And when you were giving me your response, what came to me was that revenue is not only money. So when it is that, I ask the question, what are the different ways you can earn revenue from what it is that you do? Yes, money is important, but there are so many other revenue. I mean, teaching has a fulfillment that goes far beyond money. When it is that you are a speaker, when you pour into people's life, even as a coach, when you pour into people's life, when you help them to reach that next level, I mean, what I get from that, money cannot compare, and I'm sure you can attest to that.
Yes.
So revenue is not only money. You will reach a point in your life where you say, it's not all about the money. Definitely, you will reach that point. Maybe you're saying Sasha is talking rubbish. No, I'll never reach that point. But if you have been on earth long enough, and you will see that you're going to reach a point where you say money is not all, money is not the only thing that is important. You have to have some level of fulfillment besides money in your life. And as Dean had rightly said, we have it. It's just for us to let the Lord use it. So depend on him to let you use it. All right. So
Indeed.
what determines whether someone succeeds or fail in teaching, Dean? What would you say?
In teaching, because there's so many things you have to grapple with now. You have to wear so many hats. Not just teaching, but you have to be a mentor. You have sometimes a counselor. Sometimes you have to reinventing yourself, and you always have to be keeping up with the research. Classroom management, it's a different set of students. So you have to be, as I said, reinventing yourself. So to succeed, you really have to have that mindset, a growth mindset, I would say, where you are always thinking of improving, not being stuck and saying, this is the one way. There's no one way. So you have to have a growth mindset to succeed, and you have to have a determination and a passion, as we've mentioned before. The passion is important because it's going to keep you there. If you don't have the passion, you're going to give up easily. You don't have the resilience, you're going to quit. And you have to be very good at organizing, because there's just so much that will come at you. So that's my bit there.
It's amazing. I think it's good, solid advice. And if it is that someone is interested in doing what it is that you do, I will say, focus on literacy and being in special education. What would you advise them to do in their first 90 days to be successful?
Well, within the first few days, you really have to get to understand the students that you have, understand what is expected of you. So you have to really try to build that relationship. Try to get to know the students' interests. Try to know if they have like individual education plans. Try to get to understand the parents as well, because it's a partnership that you have with the parents, because we all working towards the same goal of maximizing that child's potential. So it's very, very important to have that relationship, because if there's no children rarely learn from teachers they don't like, or so you have to build that relationship. For some students with special needs, that it might be difficult because they might have challenges in terms of their developmental needs or capacities, where some may have difficulty looking at you or connecting or even playing beside another child. So it all depends on what those needs are. So you really have to look at the child as an individual and see where you need to work, whether it's a gap or it's a developmental challenge that you need to work with. Collaborate with all the other professionals around you too, so you can have a bigger picture of what you're working with. Because if you're in special education, more than likely within the schools, there will be other specialists that you have to collaborate with. Some schools may be more resourced than others. Some schools may have links with maybe the educational psychologist or the occupational therapists, counselors, like multi-tiered system of support. Some schools may not have that. Maybe these are offered privately. So it is, as I said, you have to establish a connection with the parents, know the students in front of you, so you can see where they are and where you need to go. Because for me, what I would do is do like a interest inventory, where I gather their interests so I have all that material to help me in my planning. I may also do other assessments, diagnostic assessments, just to see where they are. For literacy, for instance, there's usually a literacy assessment I administer, just to see where they are, because I need to know that starting point to see how much value I'll be adding as I go along. And be confident, pray, and plan well. Because the more you plan, the better you plan, the easier it will be to deliver the lesson. And don't be afraid to talk to colleagues and find a mentor. You're new in the profession, find a mentor that you're comfortable with. That can be gold.
Yes, I do hear your experience coming out, Dean. I definitely see that, yes, you have over 20 odd years in doing this. You started in Jamaica. You're now in Cayman Islands teaching. Any
Yes, and I've
other
taught in the
places?
UK. I've taught in the
Okay.
UK, and when you're in the UK, you can easily travel through to France or wherever.
Mm-hmm. Yes, amazing career, amazing career. So, Dean, if someone listening wants a more free and fulfilling life, what is one courageous step that you would tell them to take this week?
Well, this week, if you want a more freer and fulfilling life,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, you have to have that mindset where you're not fixed. You have to have a growth mindset. So you must be open to different experiences. So one step you can take is to write down all the things that you want. Are there things you want to accomplish? Are there things that you're not satisfied with? You're going to write it down. Write down the things you want. And then you're going to think, which one you can prioritize. What can I do now to accomplish those? As you said, you can get a coach, but once you write down what you want now, you can begin to make steps to go for it. And you can go for it. Because as I said before, ask and it shall be given,
Right.
seek and you shall find, knock and the door shall be open. So have a desire. The Lord gives us the desires of our heart. So don't be afraid to go to God in prayer. Have that list and pray over it. Add a scripture to it too, because the Lord said, remind me of my word and I'll be hasten to perform it, right? So there you go. That's my bit of advice there.
And that is amazing. It has been a pleasure. This interview has indeed been a pleasure, Dean. a woman that is wise, I would say. And wisdom comes from the Lord. It definitely comes from the Lord.
Yes.
So it is not Dean, it is the Lord.
No, not me, because I've
Yes,
been
that's what I'm
in so
telling
many
them.
foolish
It's not
mistakes over
you.
the years.
No, it's not her. It is the Lord. And once you ask of him, he will give you the wisdom,
That's
you know.
right.
So I thank you for having this interview with me, Dean. Thank you for joining us on In This Space podcast. Before you leave, you can share with our audience how it is that they can contact you, and well, you have already shared your upcoming projects because we started
Yeah.
off with that. But if there is something else that, your final parting words, I'm going to give you the opportunity to do that now.
You can find me on LinkedIn because I'm on there a lot. I tend to post ever so often. You can also find me on Facebook, right? I do have an Instagram account, but I'm mainly on LinkedIn and Facebook at the moment, right? So just find me you can just put in my name, Dean Brown Richmond.
All right. So you've heard it from Mrs. Richmond herself. You can find her via those platforms that she had shared. We are now at the end of this section called The Earn. It has been a pleasure speaking with Mrs. Richmond today, and we look forward to our other guests in the new season. As I was sharing with Dean earlier, this is the end of season 1, and what a way to end season 1. I believe Dean had given us both the earn and the rise section, because the rise section, we talk about a quote that you can live by. And so this interview has been so impactful and powerful that, it's a great way to end our show.
Thank you so much for having me, and keep up the wonderful work. It's such a refreshing show, travel.
Thanks for that, Dean. Thanks for that. Just like how Dean had reached out to me to be interviewed. Yes, don't hesitate to reach out if it is that you want to be featured on In This Space podcast. We're now at the end of another episode of In This Space podcast. We would like to thank our sponsors, SGMF Travel Services. Book your business and leisure trips with your trusted global travel advisor. SGMF Train and Coach. Position yourself for transformation and empowerment.